just be gone, let me roll in peace. Y'all ain't putting my soul to sleep. I don't got a minute for them bitches who be trying to tell me what I'm supposed to be. Spit facts, but y'all never get it. Speak the truth and y'all get offended. Shout out to the homie epidemics, everybody got it. Now we selling records, let's go.
Following my dreams, eating with my brothers, letting nothing come between. Said we on our way now, all up on the scene. Do it for my family and I do it for my team. Waiting on this moment, I've been following my dreams, eating with my brothers, letting nothing come between. Said we on our way now, all up on the scene. Do it for my family and I do it for my team.
It's math time, everybody! Are we ready for the syncquation of the day?
No. Skip.
Knock it off.
I get that these guys are assholes, but you tell me that this literal child abuse didn't give you all of the uncomfortable winces, and I will call you a liar.
Yes, it is uncomfortable, but that's still not a sin of the episode. Like you said, that guy is an asshole, so this fits his character. Discount Jeremy thinks that if a show has even a single character who isn't a perfect person, then the show made a mistake.
Any update yet?
Considering the kill-to-death ratio of your typical stormtrooper, I'm not sure why these guys are in such a hurry to end their rather cushy collect Moff Gideon's lunch and enjoy the view assignment.
Everything wrong with the Mandalorian, ladies and gentlemen. The scout troopers want to be done with their assignment.
Just killed an officer for interrupting him.
I understand killing a trooper or two to make a point and flex your power, but at some point it just seems wasteful. If the Empire is gone, aren't stormtroopers in limited supply? Maybe just render a few of them unconscious to make your point?
Discount Jeremy has never heard of Imperial officers.
Last thing that you want is to give Gideon a bag and have him open it up and find whatever is left. Okay, look.
Yeah, but you're now robbing us of the opportunity for these guys to get into a weekend at Giddy's situation with a dead Grogu.
Discount Jeremy makes an unfunny pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Stop punching your boss's new child/pet/lunch.
Discount Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
And require that you remind him to me immediately. Are you refusing my request?
No, I'm telling you to get out of here.
Sounds an awful lot like you're refusing IG-11's request to me.
And that's a sin because... Oh, it's not? Then why did you sin it?
What the hell are they waiting for?
Should the characters in the Star Wars universe have a concept of hell? Sure, Anakin apparently knows what an angel looks like, but that's not explained either. Listen, vocabulary matters. Just because this is a common phrase on our planet doesn't mean it would be here too. So just give her something different to say. Or make them swear in Mandarin like Firefly did.
That's another pop culture reference. But also, not only would you have complained about it if she said something different, but it's also really not a big deal for the Star Wars universe to have a concept of hell. I mean, you didn't complain about it in your Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon videos, or as far as I know, any other different universe that has a concept of hell.
Setting up an e-web.
Oh no, not an e-web. How the hell will they ever escape the e-web? The f*** is an e-web?
Discount Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
It's over.
Grief Karga goes all Hudson from Aliens on us, and if this weapon is that powerful, I suppose he has a point. I mean, there's no way Moff Gideon would do something outrageous like give them an entire day before...
I will give you until nightfall.
Moffer, f***er.
Discount Jeremy has never heard of negotiating. Also, that was an Alien reference.
Blow it.
I'm out of charges.
Says the script.
This sin is funny to me because if he wasn't out of charges, Discount Jeremy would have sinned the show for conveniently giving him charges. But he's also sinning him for not having charges. So really, he's just saying words that don't actually mean anything.
Members of my escort have completed assembly of an E-Web heavy repeating blaster.
Okay, I couldn't help but research what this is, and it turns out it's a pretty badass piece of gear that was used in The Empire Strikes Back. Cool. Nice callback. However, its full title is Emplacement Weapon Heavy Blaster, which means Moff is pulling a pin number by calling it an Emplacement Weapon Heavy Blaster Heavy Repeating Blaster. Stop shortening things and then saying the words you've already shortened.
Moff Gideon is using the language he's using because he doesn't know if Mando and crew are aware of what the weapon is. It's really not that hard to understand.
Or perhaps the decommissioned Mandalorian hunter, Din Djarin.
Villain full names the heroes he's trapped and goes through their history as a way of asserting dominance cliche. Or as we say in the biz, Hans Grubering.
Not only is that not a cliche, but he also made a pop culture reference.
I will give you until nightfall, and then I will have the E-Web cannon open fire.
Seriously, why do villains always do this? All he's doing is giving them time to escape. If he really wants to force their hand, he should give them 2 minutes to surrender, not several hours. I understand the writers need to give our heroes a way to escape into season 2, but there are smarter ways to do that.
Jesus Christ. Again, Gideon is negotiating, which apparently doesn't exist in CinemaSins world. The only reason he's bitching and moaning about this tactic is because he already knows they're going to escape.
They'll upload me to a mind flayer.
As long as you put enough points into your intelligence stat, you should be fine, Kara. You only need a DC 15 intelligence saving throw to avoid its mind blast attack. And even if you fail and get stunned, you get to reroll that.
Moff Gideon.
No. Moff Gideon was executed for war crimes.
How do these pretty regular looking stormtroopers talk about Moff Gideon as if he's the poster Sith for what's left of the Empire? But Mando revealing his identity comes as a huge shock to Kara and Karga.
Oh, I don't know, Aaron. Maybe it's because those scout troopers work for Gideon, but Kara didn't know he was still alive? I mean, typically when you work for someone, you know who they are and also that they're alive. I know it's a wild concept that's very hard to believe, but you just gotta deal with it, man.
Mandalorian isn't a race.
It's a creed.
Roll commercial. Huh. Sorry about that, everyone. That really felt like a roll commercials moment. I guess I'll just send it for breaking the fourth wall, because if there wasn't a helmet in the way, Pedro Pascal would be staring directly into the camera for that line.
Do I even need to explain why this sin is dumb? Didn't think so.
This flashback exposition of civilians being killed goes on for all of the some time. We get it. The Empire sucks. Sheesh.
This is not the Empire, it's the Confederacy of Independent Systems. If you would pay attention and actually be intelligent, you would understand this.
Uh-oh. If Twister taught me anything, it's that when a kid is put in a basement, the father's going to die. Starting to get the feeling Din's parents aren't walking away from this one.
Yet another pop culture reference.
Also, looks like we've got a kid whose name rhymes with "in" hides underground while Imperial baddies kill their parents until they're rescued by future mentor cliche. Okay, maybe that's not a cliche, but the similarities to Rogue One seem unnecessary in a galaxy full of potential origin stories.
So it's a sin because it's slightly similar? What? How much idiocy can one human being spew out?
Cool shot, but there are still plenty of droids around. Could they really afford to dramatically unfold their hand and wait for Din to climb out?
Yes, as this scene is clearly showing us right now. I mean, besides, if they climb down and grab Din, that could potentially eliminate his trust, whereas offering their help is a much more gentle strategy.
Moff Gideon was an ISB officer during the Purge. That's how I know it's him.
What kind of proof is that? How can he know Moff was the only ISB officer connected to Mandalore? Why is it only an ISB officer that could know his name? Look, I'm sure there's something I'm missing here, but I wish someone would tell me exactly what, because Karga and Kara take this as unquestioning proof that Moff Gideon is, well, Moff Gideon.
What the hell is wrong with you? Moff Gideon was one of many ISB officers during the Purge, which is where Mando knows him from. Why is that so difficult for you to understand? You asked why only one ISB officer was connected to Mandalore, and that's dumb because there isn't only one. There are more. He never said anything about it only being one dude, so I don't know where you're getting that from. He also never said that only an ISB officer could know his name. He simply recognizes Gideon. You just made a bunch of random assumptions here and then acted like it was all factual and therefore a sin.
I am fulfilling my base function. Which is? To nurse and protect.
Not that the shots of Grogu laughing while IG-11 blows shit up aren't awesome, but if your directive is to nurse and protect, wouldn't you take the child further away from danger? Running the kid into an active conflict zone would seem to violate that directive pretty fundamentally, especially when the Razor Crest was an option.
His directive led him to the conclusion that bringing Baby Yoda to Mando was the most effective way to keep him safe. I'm not necessarily saying it's the best strategy, but it does make sense that a droid who needs human superiors would take Baby Yoda to the only humans he's connected to in order to save them and escape with them.
Mando rips the E-Web off of its mount, presumably so that he can make it a mobile vessel of pewing fury. But since he ends up standing in the same spot and spinning around, why didn't he just leave it on the mount with its stability intact and save himself a copyright lawsuit from the Master Chief?
Mando was obviously planning on taking the cannon with him, but it got knocked out of his hand before he could. How are you so bad at figuring very simple things out? Also, he made a Halo reference that wasn't a sin of the episode. Cliché.
Why are they still trying to get into the bar? Both Mando and Grogu are clearly outside on the street. And you might say, but TVSins taking the bar offers a tactical advantage. And we'd say, stuff it, you scruffy nerf herders. Stormtroopers aren't that smart.
But this sin right here is showing us that these stormtroopers are that smart. So I don't know why you feel the need to contradict what's happening right here on the screen.
Yeah, stormtroopers couldn't hit the broadside of a bantha, but shouldn't the priority here be taking out the extremely exposed Kara and Mando? We barely see a shot even come near them. I mean, what the hell is Moff Gideon doing right now? Washing his tights?
He claims that barely any shots come near them, while showing a scene in which a bunch of shots come very near them.
Wait, what? Didn't they just blow the door off with a f***ing grenade? How is it all fixed and properly shutting now? What kind of a bar has a reloading door?
It's a different door, dumbass.
I'm gonna need to take this thing off.
No. leave me?
Codes of honor are cool and all, but the Mandalorians are basically an endangered species right now. If taking the helmet off can let her save his life, then do it. Yeah, I hear you, this is the way, and I have spoken. But that's not going to matter all that much in about 5 minutes when a droid finds a loophole as small and ridiculous as a midichlorian.
First of all, Discount Jeremy has never heard of religion. Second of all, what do you mean when you say midichlorians are loopholes? I agree that they're stupid, but they're not loopholes. I mean, I'm not surprised he doesn't know what the word loophole means, but it's still a sin.
Guys, we want to make sure the Stormtrooper looks different because they have a flamethrower and shit. Any suggestions? How about some unsettling red paint that makes it look like the skin of his helmet is being pulled back to reveal a fleshy undermaw?
Boring! Let me have a warrior's death.
We just saw Grogu use Force healing powers in the last episode to save Grief Kargas, so why can't they do the same thing for Din here? Is someone saving their Force powers for a more dramatic scene?
Baby Yoda is, surprisingly, a baby, and using his Force healing power last episode drained his energy because it's an extremely difficult power to use. Therefore, using it again here really isn't an option.
At this point, we've had so many Deus Groguganas that it's hard to buy into the stakes of these near-death situations. It's especially baffling when you realize that a matter of hours ago, Grogu chose not to use their powers to save Queel, a character we like more than at least 50% of the people in this room.
Okay, Grogu's use of the Force here is much less taxing than other powers, such as Force healing. Therefore, he's conserving his energy as best he can, while also doing what he can to help. Also, Discount Jeremy still doesn't know what the term Deus Ex Machina means.
No living thing has seen me without my helmet since I swore the creed. I am not a living thing.
I'm truly conflicted about the helmet removal. I'm all for seeing Pedro Pascal, but doesn't this feel a little unearned? Yes, it's debatable as to whether IG-11 is truly alive, but that doesn't feel like an argument that's going to hold up in Mando Court. And spoilers for Season 2, it doesn't. It's almost like the show just felt bad for not showing us Pedro. Like, we know this could have been anybody in the suit with Pedro in a recording booth, but we want to show you that he put the armor on at least once. Never mind that it undermines one of the character's core f***ing beliefs.
But it doesn't. Like IG-11 just said, he's not a living thing, so it doesn't undermine his belief at all. As for it not holding up with the other Mandalorians, did you forget about the other times he removes his helmet? The point is, this sin is aggressively stupid.
This is a Bacta spray. It will heal you in a matter of hours.
Bacta spray? Bacta spray? That comes in a spray form? Every time we've seen it used, Bacta is kept in a tank and the character has to be submerged to benefit from its miraculous healing properties. Someone should tell Boba Fett so he doesn't waste half of his series just napping in a fishbowl dreaming of electric exposition.
Submerging yourself in a Bacta tank is useful for larger and more severe physical trauma, whereas the spray can heal lesser damage, like Mando's wounds here. I honestly can't believe I have to explain this to a fully grown man.
Also, Episode 2, Attack of the Also. If the Bacta spray is that powerful, why did you need to remove the f***ing helmet? Just spray that shit under there and leave the man with his honor.
Seeing as there was a sound effect when IG-11 removed Mando's helmet, we can safely assume that it somehow seals to his armor. Therefore, IG-11 couldn't simply spray underneath. Pay attention.
I can stand. I'll try to find tracks. We're close.
And looking at the ground was somehow a physical impossibility while leaning on Kara and looking at the ground.
By not leaning on Kara, he can move faster. Seriously, what don't you get about this?
A creed, until it is of age or reunited with its own kind, you are as its father.
So, just because you say the word creed a million times, you just expect Mando to make that kind of sacrifice with arms wide open?
Yes. What don't you understand about religion?
You are a clan of two.
Sup, Mando? Cool badge. I have no idea you joined the The what? The Mudhorn Appreciation Society. Yeah, I've got a cousin that rolls with...
IG, please guard the outer hallway.
Kudos for saying please, but does IG just take orders from anybody?
No, he takes orders from whoever programmed him and, by extension, anyone who is connected to that person, especially when he's running a mission. See where I'm going with this?
Until you know it, it will not listen to your commands.
What is it, a Pokemon? You're telling me this jetpack can disobey its user? Funny how none of the other Mandalorians in the Siege of Mandalore episodes of Clone Wars seem to have rebellious jetpacks.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche. Also, referencing the Siege of Mandalore arc is a very strange way to try to demonstrate your point. Obviously, those Mandalorians had all mastered their jetpacks already, so that was a completely pointless reference.
Restock your munitions.
Did Mando level up or something? He gets a new outfit detail, a new weapon, and a complete refill of ammo. Is the show gonna auto-save because the big boss fight's coming up?
Why is any of this a sin? I mean, part of the reason they came here is because of the resources in the Mandalorian covert.
At some point during the Star Wars holiday special, I said the fact that nobody ever thought to engineer poor R2-D2 legs and arms. Upon reflection, I would like to take that sin back and transfer it to this f***ing nightmare fuel.
So you got what you wanted, but still sinned it? What the hell?
I don't suppose anybody here speaks droid.
Nope, not a single person. Hey, IG, can you think of anyone in the boat that speaks droid? No, me neither.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So you're assuming that just because IG-11 is a droid, that must mean he automatically speaks the same language as the astromech unit? That's racist.
Eliminate the enemy, and you will escape. You don't have that kind of firepower, pal. You wouldn't even get to daylight.
He says to the droid that single-handedly took out a small town of stormtroopers while carrying a child in a damn baby Bjorn.
When he did that, he was taking them by surprise, but now he has to take them head on. Pay attention.
Sadly, there's no scenario where the child is saved in which I survive.
No scenario? No scenario? That is a mighty amount of confidence that doesn't account for sudden Groguing Jedi cameos or, well, the more obvious factor that stormtroopers can't shoot tin cans 10 feet in front of them.
He's not counting on any wild scenario happening. He's calculating the most likely scenarios.
What are you doing?
Look, we all love T2, but stealing is stealing. And stealing is like one of those actual sins.
And this scene isn't stealing anything, so it's not a sin.
Shields are a thing in the Star Wars universe, right? Like, we've definitely seen them before. So why don't TIE fighters have them? And don't give me some shit about it being too expensive or cumbersome. If the Rebellion can afford them and fit them on X-Wings, the Empire should have zero issues doing the same.
There are two potential answers to this. One is that TIE fighters are essentially the Imperial Navy's cannon fodder, so it wouldn't really make sense for them to outfit them with expensive shields. The other is that TIE fighters are designed to utilize speed and mobility rather than firepower, and putting shields on them would therefore be a very strange addition that would also encourage pilots to not use the TIE fighters' main advantages.
Aw yeah, more ship porn. I love the Razor Crest. I hope it sticks around for a long time to come.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
It has a f***ing light/dark/saber/sword thing? Why the f*** is he only busting this out now? In fact, why is the show only busting this out now? It's as if they've been saving it for some big end-of-season sting. Oh.
He didn't use it for the fight earlier because that would have required him getting into close quarters combat with a Mandalorian. Think about that for just a second, dude. That would have literally been suicide.